What's going on, guys? I'm YST and welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. And we are back for the first time in 2 months and joined by the one and only Nub Raids. How's it going, bro?
Hey, it's great to be on. It's great to be on, and it's great to have you back. Yes.
Yeah, I was literally just saying to Nubs before we started recording that I am nervous as heck to start recording again. It feels like day one, but yeah, we're well and truly back now. Hopefully we do more than one video every 8 weeks. That'll be a plus side, right? Let's see if we could do it.
New Year's resolution, right? Start the year as you mean to go on. There we go.
Yeah. But I guess like in terms of today's video, I was actually thinking, which one am I gonna do as the returning one? And we got the Hydra Clan Boss, we've got so many things, the Alice in Wonderland IPs coming through, we've had fusions.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you know what? Let's go with a good old-fashioned Hydra video. Talk about some Head of Torment. Very original, right? So do you guess I guess before we get into this, do you just want to speak very briefly about why we want to use these kind of champions to take down the Head of Torment and why they're effective?
Yeah, sure. I think this is especially relevant because we know that instant battles are coming for Hydra probably in the next 2 or 3 months, I'd guess, like very soon. Which is, you're gonna have to have a team that works on auto. The Head of Torment is a huge problem for Hydra because when you hit him, if you don't have Perfect Veil, he puts a True Fear on your champions, and that is just absolutely cripplingly disruptive because you miss your turn, your ability goes on cooldown, you can miss crucial buffs and debuffs, and your run can fall apart extremely quickly. And even, like I said, with instant battles, even more important because you cannot take manual control and like just force people to use their A1s. They'll put their abilities on cooldown. So
Yeah.
yeah, having a way to counter it, either Perfect Veil or other types of champs we're going to talk about here, really impactful for making your runs way more consistent.
Yeah, 100%. Like, especially that we need 3 teams, right? Trying to making
Yeah.
sure that you've got someone that can fulfill that role for all of those teams. You always want to keep your eye out for like the MVP options. So I guess, do you just want to run through the first option here of the ones that we're going to be using to take down this Head of Torments?
Let's do it. One of my favorite champs in the game. She's an epic Rector
Mhm.
Drath, and you can actually
Yes.
get her with a promo code, right?
Hmm.
Um, so very, very impactful. So she is one of the best epics in the game, but she puts out Perfect Veil for 2 turns if you're full health on a 4-turn cooldown. Now you
Hmm.
can, and she also brings in a revive, which is brilliant. She's bringing lots of healing with that A2 and her passive. She can even place decrease attack through Poison Cloud and on basically on weak hits, even wrong affinity on her A1. It doesn't say it does that, but it does. One of those
Even
things.
I didn't know it does that.
Yeah, it's bizarre, but it works. Yeah, just straight through Poison Cloud. Why? Who knows? It just does. But yeah, so she's fantastic, and you can very easy to gear her up. She's got great base stats. Get her in a reflex set to reduce the cooldown of the A2, make that Perfect Veil even more consistent. And yeah, she is phenomenal. Reviving, healing, Perfect Veil, great, so strong. I actually use her in my brutal Hydra team, no joke.
Damn.
Which is just ridiculous for and I'm an end game account and I'm still using this epic, which is crazy.
Yeah, it just shows like just in general. I'm not sure why Raid is like this, but they just don't want to bring
Mm,
in more enough perfect veil options for the game, and it's so limited. And having an epic champion that's more accessible than some of these legendaries we're going to discuss is just no brainer, right? And I really like how she's got that increasing of resistance as well. So when you're trying to
yeah,
reduce the debuffs coming your way, it's just a nice pairing, right? Um,
yeah, 100%.
Next up here, I'm kind of scared to mention this one because Mr. Nub Raids hasn't got her yet.
All right, dude, she's been power crept. I don't mind as much.
She has been power crept. We was actually speaking with Saf as well, and it's like some of these
Yeah.
champions that are coming out. It's like, do you know what? They actually are better than Duchess because the
Oh
revival
yeah.
is just there's no turn meter fills of it, right? It's just a straight out revival, which is good. But
Yes.
it's definitely
I
been
mean,
power crept.
yeah, like in top end, like Galathier is just Duchess 2.0, really. Let's be real.
Yeah.
For the most part.
So I
But yeah,
guess like Duchess Lilitu, it all comes down to this, right? Block debuffs, increase attack, perfect veil is just fulfill so many roles for your team on a 4-turn cooldown, and also the damage reduction from this passive, which is something not to overlook. Can't go wrong with someone like Duchess. But I will say, do you know these single target ones? There's a mastery that I think you guys should consider not taking as well. It's something that always annoys me with Duchess. Where is it? Oh, this
oh.
has changed as well. I've got there's relics here. There's an extra tab. What's going on? It's actually which one's the counterattack one? The deterrence. Yeah, this one here. So a 20% chance when they apply stun fees, true fear, all of this
Mm,
stuff. And when you go through and counterattack, you actually can skip the turns of your Duchess. So if you're using in
Oh, yeah.
Hydra, I always like to avoid deterrents on my perfect veil options because they're not
Right, yeah.
protected 9 times out of 10, right?
Yeah, exactly, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
So right.
Yeah, she's still a great option, and, you know, for Hydra again with protection set now, 9-piece protection set, she's putting out 3 buffs, maybe even 4 on
Mm-hmm.
people, so that's a lot of
Because
boosted
you get the
damage.
shield as well from the
You
A1,
get the
right?
shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, so, yeah, I think she has a bit of resurgence for PvE content with
Mm-hmm.
a buff extender, 9-piece protection, and she's great value there. The only pity
100%.
is that it's a little difficult to use that in Arena. I can still use it, but you might prefer, you know, Stone Skin in Arena, but yeah.
Yeah, I actually still use my Duchess in Arena. She's never gonna go.
Oh,
No matter
yeah.
how much she gets power crept, Duchess is always there. I'm so
She's
right.
still solid. Yeah, she's still good.
Who we got next here then?
Next up, really interesting one. I think that he's very underutilized. As Tatora Rhymehide.
Okay.
Um,
Oh,
I
wait, I
think,
always forget where he deserves to be Skinwalkers. He's high O's, right? Oh, there he
yeah,
is.
exactly. I mean, I
Yes.
love the design. It's a bit different, right? I love the
Yeah.
monstrous character designs because a lot of them are kind of pretty humanoid. So
Hmm.
having more monsters better. But yeah, this guy is great. He was the Christmas fusion. Oh, it's a few years ago now. Probably three, 2 or 3, three. Probably.
It feels like 1 or 2, but it's definitely been about 3 years now. Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while, but he is great. So he is putting out Perfect Veil with his A3
Hmm.
again for 2 turns on a 4 turn. It also gives him a shield, which is interesting. It is an AoE attack, so you need to be careful. But he also has that increased defense and block debuffs for 2 turns on a 3 turn cooldown on his A2. So
Hmm.
he's bringing you a lot of buffs. He's got decreased accuracy A1 as well. A lot of stuff this champ is doing. I think he could be quite nice as well for Chimera because he's bringing you so many buffs and debuffs.
Yeah.
Um, and again, this is a champion that has only got stronger with the protection set and making those buffs protected. And he likes the stats. He can do some decent damage if you build him for damage too. He's a fun one.
Yeah.
I think he often gets quite forgotten about, honestly.
Yeah, no, I
I
agree.
often forget
Actually,
about him, to be honest.
I
So
know we're speaking about Head of Torment here, but do you know
yeah.
decreased accuracy is something that I found so valuable against the Chimera. Once you
Oh
start
yeah.
pairing
Yeah.
increased resistance with decreased accuracy, the combination, even on Ultra Nightmare, I don't take any buff removals, I don't take any
Yeah.
debuffs because the stats are just reduced by such an amount. And to have it on an A1 100% chance, I remember when I was using this for, who was it? I think it was the first time I beat Bommel and there was literally no
Yeah.
other champions with 100% on the A1. So
Yeah. Right.
it's really nice actually. But yeah, I think just the one takeaway is just be careful with this AoE because he will instantly get feared from the boss, right? Because he's not placing it on
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah, so what can go wrong is you do A3 into A2, so he
Hmm.
puts out the perfect veil, but then he's true feared, and then he can't do his
Misses this
A2.
turn. Yeah.
So yeah, he becomes really nice with buff extenders where you can prioritize the A2 first,
Hmm.
and then because he doesn't attack on that turn, he's going to be safe to come in and yeah, perfect veil
They
on his
should
next.
really change this aura, right? Maybe universal
Yeah,
25% in all battles everywhere. Could be a bit more keeping current with the times, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So next up here, we're heading into the Dark Elves, and I think nobody speaks about this champion. Is it for good
Ooh.
reason? Let's think about it. Well, he's actually one of the few champions that has an equalizing of HP healing effect, which is actually very underrated in stuff like Phantom Shoguns, you name it. It goes from like an initial target 20% heal and then balances the HP, and then
Mhm.
also an ally protection as well on the initial target. Nice bit of protection there. But it's this part here. So attacks all enemies, very similar to the Tutor Rhymehide, right? Places Perfect Veil
Yes.
on everybody on a 4 turn cooldown, but also plays the role as a mischief tank in the same ability by placing counterattack and strengthen. I think this is a very underrated skill in this game personally. And then with the
Mm,
counterattack, he can actually come through and heal this champion by 5% and 10% as well, if they're under 50%. So nice
yeah.
bit of self-sustain, heals the team, perfect veils, mischief tanking, simple but effective. I think it's pretty good if you don't have better options, right?
Yeah, yeah. The biggest issue is definitely because the counterattack buff, he does get feared
Feared
like a
quite a
lot.
lot. Yeah.
So that's the problem. And then if you miss his A2, you're really in trouble. So I
Yeah.
do find that tricky. I do think that new harmonic impulse blessing probably pretty darn good for this guy.
Mhm.
Whereas before you might run lightning cage, but like the harmonic impulse making you like kind of resist the effects of true fear, pretty
Mhm.
strong. Yeah, so he's one to watch, or any sets or other supplementary champions that could protect him from fear. And he's yeah, it's so much. He does so much healing, so much healing. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's cool.
I keep thinking this guy's from the. He's not a Doom Tower champion, is he? He's a summon. He's a summon
No,
champion.
you just summon him. Yeah, yeah.
Whenever I look at this guy, I feel like he's one of the top Doom Tower Final rewards, but he actually
He
came
does have that
out.
vibe, doesn't he?
Yeah, I've not actually not seen him used anywhere. I've literally never seen this guy pop up, which is interesting.
Yeah, no, again, he's very much forgotten. People don't use him too much, but like, yeah, he can be good. You just need to protect him from the true fear. That's the
Yeah,
challenge.
have like a little cleanser in there, or some of the champs we're going to speak about. So all
Yes.
right, next up here, who we got?
Ooh, Quargan the Crowned. Interesting.
Hmm.
You might have to explain this one because I haven't used him ever,
Yes,
actually.
so when I was actually looking through some of the perfect Veil options for this video, can I even find him? Is he on my screen right now? There he is.
I think he's behind you. Yeah, there.
Such an interesting design. I love it. It's just
Yeah.
aesthetically one of my favorite epics, but he's actually got a very weird way of placing Perfect Veil, is the best way to put it, because he
Mm,
places it on all allies. Where is it? Places a Perfect Veil and an increased attack on allies whose attack is higher than the defense. So I guess
mm,
in a scenario where you've got predominantly attack champions, maybe you're facing hard or brutal, a bit more like Rise of Vargs and stuff, it's a great
yeah,
way to
yeah.
protect those allies and increase their attack, but also block debuffs and increase defense on the alternative option, right? So I guess it
Mhm,
really comes down to the individual team that you're using him in, like more of a budget option for sure. Not everyone's going to be protected, but if you just
mhm.
want to protect your damage dealers to wipe out Torment quicker, I think
Exactly.
he's a really good option to put in. Also healing, shields as well on all allies, and an A1 to increase the duration of random buffs. So yeah, I just thought it was a good epic honorable mention to throw in there, but just be wary
Yeah,
of
yeah.
only for attack champions, right?
100%. It's what you said is you're gonna run him on a team where you're just gonna kill Torment. That's your
Yeah.
goal, right?
Hmm.
Buff up Perfect Veil on your damage, kill Torment, and then it doesn't matter if everyone else feared because it goes away. So yeah, that's it. But he's sort of, we say Phoenix looks like me. This guy looks a bit like you. He's got the chin thing sort of matches your beard, right?
Oh my, he's got the
Is
hat
this
on.
YSP in game?
Oh my god, it's me in the multiverse. Look at this.
Yeah, the lizard YST right there.
Yeah, wait, here we
You're
go.
ripped,
And
dude.
I've got three fingers as well, like Spider-Man. There you
Yeah,
go.
exactly. Exactly.
Oh, this guy's freaky, man. But let me know, guys. Does any of you actually use Korgan? I'm actually super interested because another one,
Yeah.
like the True Earth, never see him used. Wait, so that was technically your pick. Should I just go back, back to the
You
order?
you take the next one. You take the next
All
one
right.
this one
I'm
because you
actually,
have this
I
champ.
love this champion, and I've actually got
Yeah.
two of him, and he's in two of my teams. I'm saying it right now. The best perfect Veil champion in the game, maybe, because there is a new one at the end of today's video.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm more jealous of this than your Duchess, to be honest.
yeah, honestly, he is way surpasses Duchess, and I think he was the first champion to kick them out the water, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
like, what can this guy not do? He's also in my Chimera team as well, actually. But
Yep, he's so good for that, yeah.
increased resistance, perfect Veil on a 4-turn cooldown. We got block buffs, decreased accuracy, A1 decreased speed, and also enhancing your stats, and also gives you a straight out 20% damage boost, build him in protection. This
Mm.
guy is just something that you want to find from like three champions is just thrown into one. He looks like a tree. Well, like he's literally
Yep.
such an amazing champion, and I can't knock it whatsoever. Nothing I would change about this dude at all.
Yeah, he is insane. Yeah, this was definitely, like you said, one of the first power creeps against Duchess. Like, if you don't need her revive, he just brings more than she does
Mhm.
for these bosses because of the debuffs. And again, yeah, that passive is crazy. 20% more damage. It's a crazy amount. So strong.
Yeah,
And yeah, you stack that with protection, and whew, the damage is great. The stats are great as well.
yeah.
Yeah, so good. You just resist everything with this guy. It's nuts.
Literally, sometimes I'm like, oh, let me just take Fira out this team for a video, and then I'm like, no, let me put Fira back in that
Uh,
team for the video because it makes it so much easier.
yeah,
But
right.
in Chimera, I was like, oh, am I really going to struggle with this? I've actually not, I'm still using the team I used on the first week when it came out. I've not changed it.
Yeah,
But
same.
Pharaoh is just I don't take any debuffs, I don't get any buff removes, I get decreased speed all the time for I think there's like one
Yeah,
of the trials you need a decreased speed on a certain boss or something.
yeah.
And you could just
And you
keep
need like
applying this.
increase resist, decreased accuracy, I think is needed for a trial as
Yes.
well. He does that.
He brings in and then the
It's
perfect
legit.
veil one as well. There's like 3 or 4
Perfect
trials
veil.
this
Yeah.
guy enables by himself. It's nuts.
Yeah,
Um,
he's so good.
yeah. So all right, next up here, who we got?
Glaked, the Meltwater.
Nice.
Is it of the
Oh,
Meltwater?
we're
Is
headed
it
straight
the
back into this.
Meltwater?
Where is he? Here he is. I actually
There he
wanted this
is.
dude when he came out. I
Oh,
kind of
no.
forgot about him,
Yeah.
but
I think he's really good. Yeah,
mhm.
again, he's another sort of Duchess style character, right? He brings a revive and he brings a ton of buffs: increased accuracy, increased defense,
Hmm.
with the revive, extra turn as well, increase attack, and perfect fail then as
Yep.
well with turn meter boost. It's a lot of good stuff.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and then he's got the passive that's giving you damage boost as well. If you're under perfect fail, do 10% more damage. Not as strong as Fearall, but still really strong. So again, you pair this guy up with a buff extender. You get him in 9-piece protection. He's got 4 buffs. That's
Hmm.
20% damage plus the 10% from the passive. Really good. And the backup revive and the speed aura.
Yeah.
Very, very solid. Yeah, this guy, he's very good. Like, we were saying they don't add champions for perfect fit. Well, they've added a few. They've added Feral, this guy, another one we're gonna talk about in a bit.
Yeah.
But they're legendaries. I've not pulled any of them. So
Yes, the
for me, I'm
epics.
still
I'd really like to
need
see
some
like
epics.
a Rector Draft V2 come in some format
Yeah,
for
right.
sure. But I think with
Mm,
Glacier, it's kind of like Duchess and Firo had a baby, right?
yeah, very much so.
Because it's like
Yeah.
the revive. It's like combining similarities of both of their kits and throwing it into one. So yeah, if you
Agreed.
don't
Yeah.
if you're not a big fan of Firo, you're not a big fan of Duchess, you got the blend of
Hmm.
two, right? Sorted.
Sorted.
All right. Next up here, this is kind of moving away from Perfect Veil. It's kind of like an alternative solution, and I think a great example is Tuhanaruk from the Barbarians faction. And
Yeah.
I used Tuhanaruk for a long time. She's not in any of my teams anymore. That's not to say that she's not worthy of it.
Hmm.
It's all coming down to this part here. Removes one random debuff from all allies at the start of each turn, and then removes 2 random buffs instead if they're under continuous heal. Head of somebody like a Senna, you are gonna be laughing. There's gonna be continuous heals everywhere. There's 2 cleanses everywhere. That ensures you can get provokes off from Head of Wrath. You can get poisons
Yeah.
off. You can get fears off consistently. And just pairing it with a champion that can bring this just makes her so much better. She does bring it on the A1 a little bit on your lowest HP ally, but I definitely say
Yeah.
pair her with someone with it. But she's also got
Mhm.
increased speed, increased defense, block buffs, debuff spread effects. She's just a great champion, man.
Yeah, like the only issue you run into with her is because she can be your block buff champ as well, but because it's spreading 2 random
Random
debuffs,
debuffs.
again, when we're looking at full auto and we're looking at instant battles,
Hmm.
like when you manual, you can target a head that doesn't have many debuffs to spread out the block buffs.
Yeah.
On full auto, you can't, so it's gonna be much
I will
more
say
unreliable.
she seems to have got a lot better. When I was actually trying weirdly a couple weeks ago, and
Oh,
do you
yeah.
know since the changes to the Hydra boss, when they now
Yeah.
kind of focus on decapitated heads when they're down, she
Yeah.
tends to like it seems to be a lot more consistent for me because she's kind of prioritizing the debuffs on the one with no debuffs and then
Yeah, that's true.
spreading it.
That's
Before it was
interesting.
a lot
Yeah.
worse, 100%.
That's yeah, because you decapitate a head, it's got no debuffs, and then she'll
She
target
put
it.
target
Yeah.
it before. I would have to actually manual and make sure that I am doing it. Now she tends to do a lot more
Mhm.
herself, which is an upside, I guess. But you're one hundred
That
percent
is true.
right. Manual's a lot better to Hanrock for sure.
Yeah. Alright, next up, he's the newest Void Legendary to the game.
Oh,
It's Whitey
here we go.
Tealcrest. Yeah, this guy's real good. So I did my top what did I do? Top 10 champs of I did top 10 champs of 2024, and
Okay.
probably the most common comment was, "Whitey Tealcrest should be on the
Do
list."
you
I
know
didn't
what?
put him on the list.
Fun
They
fact,
should have
guys,
been.
we was actually supposed to do this video before the New Year's, and then you ended up doing it
Yeah.
solo, right? It's just so much conflicting times. It's supposed to be me, you, and Saf, right?
Yeah, I was
But
hoping
in
to
my
get everyone
list,
in.
Nubs actually sent me his list of champions, and then I wrote a few extra ones, and I've still got the list here.
Mhm.
And when I seen he didn't mention Feedy, I was like, no, Nubs, I should have sent you my list.
Well, that was gonna be the point was we'd all
Yeah.
have different lists and that
Yeah.
it is what it is. The Christmas came and we were too busy. But yeah, he's extremely good. But yeah, he's bringing you the increased resist with perfect fail and cooldown reset,
Hmm.
which is sick. And then he's got the AoE block buffs, decreased speed, turn meter boost, the buff strip. A1 is healing. He's insane. He's got a passive, is sort of more arena focused, sort of anti sheep thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's cool. This champ he does a lot. You're gonna use him in a ton of different areas. Very versatile. You can do a lot of stuff. For Hydra, though, again, lets you resist everything.
Hmm.
Perfect fail. The reset is nuts. That's so good. Yeah, he's a monster for
Here's
sure.
here's the question. I'm putting you on the spot. Is he better than
Okay.
Pharaoh?
I don't think
It's a
so.
really
For
hard one because
yeah,
Feedy actually plays his perfect veil. Pharaoh hits to do it, so he's still. Oh no, he plays his block
yeah,
buffs AoE. I mean, and he's got a chance to fear himself. I don't know.
yeah. It's a tough one. They are similar. I think. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question. Fearall has the advantage of the passive 20% more damage. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. Yeah. It's a tough call. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. I don't have either champion, so I can't even test it.
I
I've no
might put that
clue.
up as, you know, when
Mhm.
I used to do like a
Oh, yeah,
Sunday
yeah.
poll thing. I need to get back to that. That's gonna be the next one. Feedy
There
versus
you go.
Firo. Who would you want?
It's a good one. It's a good one because yeah, they are similar. I'd say probably Fighty is maybe more generally useful. I feel like Feral is probably better for the bosses, like Chimera, Hydra, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm curious what people think.
I can see like the cooldown reductions, the thing, right? You can
Yeah,
just use
that's
it everywhere.
the ace in the hole, isn't it? Yeah.
So next up here, we're gonna go with someone that I lie. I was gonna say I never use. He's actually in one of my teams now. I suck it up for it. We got Inquisitor
Yeah.
Shmail, guys. Is he from Knights
He's
Revenant?
Sacred Order.
Oh, here we
Sacred
go.
Order.
Terrible, man.
Yeah.
I should have watched Call of the Arbiter a lot more closely, right? All right.
Yeah.
So Inquisitor Shmail, phenomenal champion, simple but effective. He is whacking out that damage with the Cow of Horrors. But the main thing is the Dauntless passive, one of a kind.
Mm,
And I feel like Raid regret making this passive because it is just so
yeah.
bonkers. So each critical hit fills this champion's turn meter by 7.5%. Whenever an ally receives a fear or a true fear debuff from an enemy, this skill will instantly remove it and fill the leader's turn meter by 15%. So not only is he just making you immune to it, but at lead position champion like your Rise of Arcs, your damage dealers. For me, I like to
Mm,
use it as center sometimes to boost her even more. Like that champion is just getting accelerated as well. And, you know, against decapitated heads, whacking it out is great for
yeah.
freeing up your champions from digestion. Nice A1 as well. He's just a super easy champion with hardly any books, right?
Oh
Apart from
yeah,
this
he's
A1.
great. Yeah, his A1 eats the books, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's really, really strong. Okay, you can get him in Reflex or 4-piece Merciless or both
Hmm.
to really get back to his A2 all the time. It's just so easy. That's the thing about him. He's so easy to use because the passive's just always on. Unless he gets devoured, then it's tricky. But like other champs, they need to place Perfect Veil and it
Hmm.
can fall off, or they need to cleanse and they can mistime it. He just works, right? He just works. So super beginner friendly to put into a Hydra team. And I think he's also benefited because attack based damage has also benefited from just the stat bloat in the game, right? Area bonuses,
Yeah.
relics, everything. Attack damage has really pulled ahead. Whereas a couple of years ago, it was all about enemy max HP. Now it's all about just raw damage. And yeah, therefore you're running increased attack in your teams. Like you said, champs like Razzlevarg, this guy pairs in really well. Give him increased attack and he pumps out good damage too.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's an easy champ to get relatively, compared to the legendaries.
Yeah, I think
He's a
there's a good few guguarantees, right, for this dude, if I'm not mistaken. I've
they've done
definitely
that as
seen one or
well,
two.
yeah.
Well, I
I think it's the
guess
final champ. It's
uh,
budget to Hanorak. It's Doom
yeah,
Priest.
Doom Priest. Here we go. So there's not really much to say about this champion. Like you just said,
No.
budget to Hanorok, but it's just that passive once again. Being able to
Yeah,
constantly cleanse off those debuffs for your allies. We've got increased attack, a bit of damage. Maybe not
yeah.
a go-to option. This is like, you know, you haven't got anything
Budget.
else. Doom Priest
Yeah.
can get the job done, right? Pretty much. But I guess like
Yeah.
outside of this, I did want to just briefly speak about some roles that you could consider in a sense. What's this? They're trying to sell me stuff. What is
Black
this?
Friday offer. What?
Wait,
It's
what?
January 3rd.
They're like,
Uh,
YST, you've not been here for 2 months. You don't know what day it is anymore.
they'll just sell you anything.
Yeah. So what
That's
I wanted to
funny.
actually speak about was one, intercept stacks. Is that something you've dabbled into to kind of counter the Head of Torment before?
Uh, Not too much. I was running Wixwell, and funny enough, if you do run Wixwell with someone with Perfect Veil, he's quite good because he can extend the Perfect Veil with his A2,
Yeah.
and then he's sort of building up intercept on people. So
Hmm.
even if your Perfect Veil or your Shemail or whoever gets devoured, you still have a bit of protection. Doesn't work so well with Shemail because the intercept gets devoured, and
Yeah.
Shemail I think doesn't do his passive. It's a bit bad. But yeah, it's an interesting one to combo with. I do think when we get, or if we get, any AoE
I'll
intercept
be
champs, then
pretty
it could be
wild.
great. But they are very much single target right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, it can be good,
Yeah, I was
but
just thinking the rotation of like if some rotations like the one we're in right now doesn't start off with Torment, if you're able
yeah,
to cycle to intercept on everybody, hypothetically, before you reach Torment coming back in, gives you time to just
mm,
wipe them out quickly, right? In the two stacks before they wear off. It's a bit of a nifty, dangerous one again. But then the last one I
yeah,
just wanted to touch on was obviously active skill cleansers like Grand Oak Padres and other ones paired together. You might not have full control. It might be a bit more manual based. It's an option.
yeah.
But then also decreased debuff duration. is a good one as
Yeah.
well. So Lady Mikage
Mhm.
is a great person to speak about with that, because decreases the duration on all allies, which is nice, and then also the passive cleanses your highest attack champion as well. So
Yeah.
combined,
100%.
you know, if you've got like a Lady Mikage, a bit of intercept in there, you know, the two of them could kind of work
Yeah,
together,
no.
right?
Yeah, definitely. And also worth mentioning, like, Ninja, and there are some champions like that, that self-buff
Self
with
perfect
Perfect
veils.
Veil. Um, yeah, that can be good too, like a damage dealer that brings Perfect Veil,
Hmm.
they can be targeted by Mischief because of it, but if you can play around it, then they can kill Head of Torment by self-buffing Perfect Veil, so, like, Lil Miss Annie, I think, is another example.
Yeah,
Stuff like that can be kinda cool.
hundred
Yeah.
percent. So yeah, I guess like that was the list for today. I'm pretty sure we've missed one crazy highlight. If we did, please correct us in the comments, guys. I guess we're just gonna pull two shots for War Master just to wrap things up.
Ooh. Ooh.
But yeah, Nubs, I appreciate you coming on and all of that good stuff. After such a long
Yeah.
time, and
I know. We're roping you in now for some videos on my channel.
yeah,
It's like you're coming back and you've got to do a few long videos back to back.
this is
Like
perfect.
diving
Like
in
I have to
deep
thank you for
end.
that, because it's like it just gets me back in the swing of things, right? But yeah, guys,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
Nubs just mentioned, we are going to be swinging over there right now. So be sure to subscribe to Nubs and check out those videos, and we'll catch you all on a video soon. Peace.